We'll call the September 21st, 2021 Williams County Board of County Commissioners meeting to order. Beth, will you call roll?
Barry,
Here.
Corey,
Here.
Bo,
Here.
David.
Here.
We have a quorum. We will continue. Let's start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Okay, let's start with the consent agenda.
Motion to approve the consent agenda.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, Beth, roll call vote.
Barry,
Yes.
Corey,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Bo,
Yes.
and David.
Yes.
Motion passes. Okay, public hearings, the 2022 Williams County final budget. Do we need to go ahead and open the public hearing? All right, we are opening the 2022 Williams County final budget public hearing. Oh, it is? Oh, well, geez, it's second on the list. Okay, reported department heads, Darcy. Is Darcy here? Okay. Oh, you're, all right, thank you. Yeah. Good morning.
I'm taking Darcy's place. She's in Bismarck today for a conference. I'm here to present the abatement for the 2021 tax year for Donald and Sharon Schilke, who are located in the northwest of Section 14 in Big Stone Township. The applicant is requesting approval of the active farm residence exemption. The Schilkes did not return their farm residence exemption application to our office before the deadline of March 31st of this year, as the statement is required to qualify for the active farm residence exemption. Our office denied his application and placed the residence on the tax rolls at the June 1st County Board meeting. Notice of this action were sent out in accordance with the Century Code after the meeting. Mr. Schilke did submit his statement of farm gross income on August 2nd of this year. The income from farming activities for 2020 was 87% of his total income, and the Century Code requires 66%. So the hearing to review that abatement was held by Big Stone Township Board on September 3rd, and it was approved. So we're requesting an approval for this abatement.
Okay. What are the wishes of the board?
So move.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, Beth, roll call vote.
Corey,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Bo,
Yes.
David,
Yes.
Barry.
Yes.
Motion passes. Okay, Dennis.
Okay, the only thing we have today is our federal aid program, 22 to 26. It's can be changed at most times, subject to changes depending on financials and everything else. But the way it lays today, we need authorization for chairman to sign.
Okay, what are the wishes of the board?
Make a motion to approve and have the chairman sign.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Dennis, is this the one we've spent into the future on this one, right? Is that how it worked?
Oh, yeah, the dollar amount on the top, yes, we're behind by $1.6 million off the top of my head. $1.6 million something.
Yeah, you're pretty
And then
close.
Am I?
Yeah, you're right, yeah.
And then, of course, it's a revolving, if things change, it could be paid off in 1 year, or 2, or 3, up to 3.
Okay.
And
Any
just to
additional?
let you know, this isn't the one that we originally received. Dennis did.
We
an
updated, we update it for our meeting that's coming up.
Yep.
We update it annually unless in between on seasons subject to change.
So you might want to take this with you when you go to.
We will. And they'll have it there on the board.
Yeah, because your meeting time is Monday, October 4th at 4:30.
Okay. Any additional discussion? Hearing none, Beth, roll call vote.
Steve,
Yes.
Bo,
Yes.
David,
Yes.
Barry,
Yes.
Corey.
Yes.
Okay, motion passes.
That's it. Thanks.
Oh, you got a big day ahead of you, right?
County Road Day, yeah. Yep. See you there.
Right on.
Okay.
Thanks, Dennis. All right, Karen.
Good morning. Okay, so the thing I have on the agenda is that, as you recall, we were supposed to have the first reading on our new ordinance disposing of county property, but I'm making a different recommendation this morning. After the board meeting, at the last board meeting, I was running across I was just doing some research on some AG opinions, and I came across an AG opinion that says that basically you really can't, even through a home rule charter ordinance, you can't divert money from the state treasury. So because the new tax foreclosure law requires excess proceeds from the sale of tax foreclosure property to be held for the owner, and then if the owner doesn't claim it in 90 days, it goes to the state unclaimed property division, we can't adopt a home rule ordinance that would allow us to move it to the county general fund. And so I'm really recommending that we just really follow state law in terms of the excess proceeds, so. And just so you know, because it usually, most of the AG opinions say that if it's a matter of local concern, you can actually enact a home rule charter ordinance that trumps state law. But apparently this AG opinion says that even if it's a matter of local concern, if any part of the statute says that the excess money or proceeds go to a state fund or the state treasury, you can't adopt an ordinance that conflicts with that, so.
Well, it really doesn't go to the state treasury, though. It goes to their unclaimed, right, for advertisement and so that people can claim it 10 years from now. Is that what it is?
Yep. It actually goes to the state unclaimed property division, and they invest it and put it into the Common Schools Trust Fund, but they're also supposed to have a separate account where there's enough money in there to pay anybody that claims money, I guess, really. So the idea really, I mean, and I I listened to the legislative hearing on changing the tax foreclosure law, and they were pretty adamant about wanting this money to go to the owners of the property. So I think that that's why they want it to go to the unclaimed property division rather than having the county set up its own kind of unclaimed property department or account or whatever, so. So that really means that, because the way that our ordinance right now is written is that any excess any proceeds from the sale of tax foreclosure property, we can use it to pay not only publication for tax foreclosure proceedings, but also insurance and maintenance and things like that. But under this new law, we're not going to be able to do that. We're only going to be able to do like publication costs and usually the costs related to advertising for the tax foreclosure sale. We're not going to be able to deduct anything for our maintenance or insurance for it.
Could we put specials on the property?
We could only put specials on the property if we actually do, if we do some sort of improvement, really.
Okay,
So-
like maintaining it, like mowing it, like,
I suppose if we mow it, we could. Yeah, but,
because that's one of the things we would do, right, on a foreclosed property?
yeah, but you understand that specials are usually a special assessment kind of thing.
Well,
it's a-
I'm looking for an avenue, then suggest a better way.
Yeah,
I
Yeah.
guess I'm looking for an option. Exactly.
yeah, there'd have to be a specific statute for something like that, really. I mean, outside of the special assessment chapters.
So who would look for that specific statute?
I will, no,
Okay,
I will,
I
no.
just-
I'll
Okay,
look- No, for sure, I'll look
I was
into that.
confused.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was hoping you weren't asking me.
No, I'll look into that, though, really.
Yeah, it shouldn't be a burden on the rest of the taxpayers to take care of this property, these properties get foreclosed upon.
Yeah, I would agree, and part of the legislative hearings on it was that they wanted to make sure that the county was made whole. And so, I know that we have expenses and things like that. in holding on to this property, so I'll look into that though, so.
So the best thing, Karen, is not, we don't hold on to it. Just get rid of it,
Get rid of what,
the property.
Right,
yeah,
right, which is kind of what we've,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, we'll still be able to, how we adopted the ordinance where we're able to, even if it doesn't sell at the annual sale, that we're able to go ahead and let it out for public bid and get sealed bids. We're still able to do that. I'm just saying that the proceeds from that will have to be taken care of under state law, really. So, yeah. So,
It's fine, we aren't looking to make money, it's just, yes, Beth?
So in other words, instead of setting the property at market value, we just set the price of the property for what's owing for back taxes, and then we pay what's owing for the back taxes, get our fees, and the money's gone.
no,
Other than unless the bid price goes up higher.
no, because state law requires us to try and sell it at a reasonably amount of money, really. So we can't just tank the price on it. We have to try and sell it at the best market value that we can, really, so.
So an example, Karen, correct me if I'm wrong, is let's say we had a piece of property came back that's worth $5,000. We put it at market value, which is, let's say for ease of math, $110,000. You subtract the difference, and that difference then goes to the state if we sell it for that amount, the market.
For the 110, or?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So it's a matter of whether or not we want to contribute more money to the state treasury.
Well, it's, or whether or not no, that's true. I mean, but,
Or the school lands trust fund, right?
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. But
in
eventually,
essence. Same thing.
yeah, but eventually for the owner at some point, if they ever claim it, really, so, yeah.
But we still can set it at what's owing for back taxes and advertising and whatever. Instead of going for market value if the commission wants to. That way, it doesn't go to unclaimed property. Just wondering.
I'm just saying again, we can't just tank the price. We have to try and sell it at the best possible price we can, really. As a reasonable amount of money, so.
I don't mean to dig deeper into this, Karen, but I'm just confused here. Because if the property set, you mentioned earlier that the legislature wanted the property to go back to the taxpayer. Okay? And then the money goes into the trust fund. But if it sells for more than it's owed to us, like I said earlier, where does that difference of money go? Because the taxpayers bought the property and it's back on the tax rolls. So the scenario again, if it's $10,000 owed to us, we get 110,
Yeah.
it's sold for 110, we get our 10,000, $100,000 goes to the state into the trust fund, and it just stays in the trust fund then. There's no money there that ever goes back to anybody else.
Not unless the owner of the original owner of the property claims it.
How could they claim it, though? They lost it. It's not theirs. They lost it for taxes, so they can't claim it.
The money is held by the state unclaimed property as their money.
Why? is
So you're
what
telling me
everyone's
that the
asking.
person that let it go for owing us $10,000 and it sells for 110, that $100,000 is theirs if they claim it?
Yes.
Yes.
Yep, it is.
So
And-
if Bo buys it and it belongs to David, Bo pays the price and then David gets the 100,000.
Yeah.
So that's why we set it at what's owed for back.
In reading what Karen sent us, the legislature said that was basically the government was stealing their equity. Am I right? Isn't I read that properly?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I guess short of somebody, they didn't have to pay the 6% or 8% auction fee for everything to get sold to get the cash. But I guess if that's the law, that's the law.
And all the time and the effort that we put into it at the office and the 12% and whatever else.
One part of the law says that we can't sell it just for what's owed to us. You're saying we got to get the best value that we can.
Well, we have to sell it we have to try and sell it at a reasonable price.
Don't we get the option to set that either at market value or at the, what are the taxes owed on it?
Yes,
At the time of the original
You
tax
do,
sale?
you do, but also I'm just saying the state law says that we have,
Okay, that's an easy one. Well, okay, when, at the first tax sale, we have the option to set the price at market value or what the taxes are owed.
or anything in between. I mean, it could be,
Right,
And the thing is it's the same people every year, and they'll pay like 1 year of taxes,
just to stay ahead.
and they're back on the list again for the next year, and we do all that work for them to pay 1 year of taxes.
but that's different from selling it, Beth. That's
Yeah.
redeeming it by somebody that owned it, so.
Yeah.
What?
I said, for the record, what else you got to do? I'm just teasing.
A lot.
Okay, well, now that this subject is clear as mud,
Yeah.
But even if the commissioners put special assessments on it for Keith going out and mowing it and changing the locks and whatever, the specials don't go on the property until November 1st. And so the new owner will pay the specials, not the old owner.
if we did it by a special assessment.
Exactly.
Well, I guess from my perspective, until I find a statute that says that we can do that,
Yeah. Exactly.
Well, I guess in my opinion, Karen, if those are the laws that we have to abide by, like I said earlier, the best thing is just get rid of it, and then we don't have to worry about doing anything to it at all. And
Right.
Keith doesn't either, or facilities.
So that's why you sell it for taxes?
okay?
Oh,
Just one
Patty's
more
agreeing.
question, Karen.
okay.
Yeah.
If you sell it for the fair market value, you have a bigger chance of holding on to that property because nobody's gonna buy it. If you sell it for just what the taxes are owing, you have a bigger chance that it will be sold.
Okay, well, this is a new strategy this year.
Karen, just one question if I may. When we set that, the taxes that are owed on it, or Beth, does it still go up for bids for auction?
Yes, it still does if the property owner doesn't come in at 1 minute to 10 on the day of the sale.
So it still could potentially be, there again, the scenario of owing us 10,000 and it goes to auction and it gets bid up to whatever the amount over that's owed at us, it's still
Exactly.
gonna go to the homeowner.
So there's still that chance. The five of you could be bidding on one parcel and we only owe $3,500 worth.
Actually, no, you couldn't. No, the five of you could not.
Just
think- I
pretend you're just individual people. And let's say it's $3,500 worth of taxes.
We got it.
Well, Barry gets it for 10. Well, that difference
Yep.
will go
Goes to
to,
the state
Yep.
school land trust fund. Yep, until the previous owner claims it. Got it. Oh. Yep. I think
Yeah.
you had a really interesting saying about a pile of manure. We already knew it stunk.
Any other questions at all, or?
Nope.
Okay. All right. We'll probably revisit this issue again, really, when it gets to the point of.
When we
setting-
decide to sell for taxes.
setting the
Yep.
minimum sale price, so, yeah, so, okay,
Okay.
thank you.
Thank you, Karen.
Just so you know, I would actually like a motion from because we actually have a current zoning, not a zoning ordinance, a current home rule charter ordinance that says that excess proceeds goes into the county general fund. So I really want a motion from this board saying that we're really going to follow state law on this, on the
Okay.
disposal of
So
proceeds.
moved.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Bo? Any additional discussion? Hearing none, Beth, roll call vote.
Bo,
Yes.
David,
Yes.
Barry,
Yes.
Corey,
Yes.
Steve.
Yes. Motion passes.
I'll tell you after.
That we're going to follow state law.
Yeah. On proceeds, yep. On tax foreclosure proceeds. All right, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you. Jeez, record timing. Helen, you're up. Yeah.
Already did it. Because you were efficient, you got to me early.
Good morning.
Morning.
So I have three things. The first is our normal position report. We have one position that we're seeking for approval. It is an administrative assistant position at the sheriff's office. You're going to see it advertised, hopefully went out late yesterday. It's going to be called accounting and payroll coordinator, just so if you look at the ad, you don't think I'm sneaking one in. So we're looking for permission on that, please.
Motion to approve, Mr. Chairman.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, Beth, roll call vote.
David,
Yes.
Barry,
Yes.
Corey,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes,
Bo,
Yes.
motion passes.
exactly, and I can't hear you.
I won't be down here for park board, and so I just want to make sure that we're clear on the process. The park board position that Leon Walter vacated is open. That will come before you twice because you're the park board. Each of the boards for which you all appoint positions have the opportunity to talk in their public meeting about the applicants that might be on their board. So you guys are going to hear today at the park board about the applicants, and you're going to make a recommendation that will then come back to the board that you also sit on at the next meeting to approve the park board member, just so that doesn't get confusing today. We made a mistake. I honestly, I did it, but nobody caught my error either. We set the final bill approval meeting for the last day of December, December 31st. It's what we do a lot of years, except this year, the 1st is on a Saturday. And so the Friday of the 31st is actually a holiday for us. So we had a conversation internally. The hope would be that maybe you all could reschedule that to the 29th, which is a Wednesday instead of a Friday, the week between Christmas and New Year's. It will be a special meeting now because we don't have it correct on the regular schedule. Sorry, that was the goal of this whole thing at one point, remember?
Well, the positive thing is, Helen, you didn't come to us on December 28th and ask us this.
Right, it was, Beth was actually looking ahead and she called me yesterday and said, oh, I think we have this wrong. And she is correct. So you wouldn't have to change it today, but we don't want to forget. And of course, you know, we're trying to get our calendar set for the last quarter.
I'll make a motion, Mr. Chairman, to change the date to December 28th, 8 a.m., 29th, excuse me. Is that the date you had, Helen?
That's the date Beth would like.
All right.
Yep. Okay, we have a motion for changing the meeting to the 29th of December. Is there a second?
Second.
Thanks, Barry. Any discussion? Oh, boy.
Barry,
Yes.
Corey,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Bo,
Yes.
David.
Yes.
Okay, motion passes.
All right, then we have the remote work policy. I did send this out to all of you, I don't know, a week or 10 days ago, probably to review. Let me just give you a little background on the process. We do have a couple of folks that work remotely right now, and it's happened sort of through the circumstances that allowed it. So we actually have 4 people that work remote right now, 2 of them part-time, or one of them a little less than part-time, one of them clearly part-time, and 2 full-time folks. And we have some general guidelines, but we don't have a clear policy. And this is different than the kind of remote work that we see when maybe someone is out because they are ill or they're convalescing and they're just going to be out for a couple of weeks and take a laptop home and do a little bit of work for us. This is on a regular basis, working out of a home or a different location. So we do have a request. We actually sort of have two pending requests for remote workers. And I had a conversation with Commissioner Montgomery, who's my portfolio commissioner, but also the portfolio commissioner for the two departments where these requests are going to come from. And we decided that it was really time to get a formal policy. So I've gone through the process, which involves my staff doing research into these kind of policies. We write up a draft policy. We have an employment law attorney that is actually like deputized or whatever the word would be by JACON to do special employment law work for us. And so I spent a period of time on the phone and in review of this document with him. I sent it out to all of you. I had discussions specific with Commissioner Kemp because in his personal life, his business has remote workers. And so we talked through some of the lessons they've learned to make sure we've incorporated those. And I also had conversations in the process of revising this with all the departments that currently have a remote worker to make sure that we weren't wrecking something that they had going on by making a policy too specific and trying to address concerns that they have had or do have. So this is an addition to the employee policy manual, and it must be approved by the Board of Commissioners before it can be official. And so the first thing that I'm doing is asking for permission from you all, a motion to approve this policy. I'll point out one thing that's very important about the way we write this, and it evolves in the process of doing research and then talking it through with our attorney. There's really two components to someone working remote. First is, does the position make sense to work remote? And so if you think about an administrative assistant who answers the phone and greets customers walking to the window, that position doesn't make sense to work remote. A position that regularly has to attend meetings and integrate their work with a group of other people, it may not make sense for them to work remote. And so the position, the duties of the position are the first thing that we evaluate. And in this policy, and frankly, in the way we've done this up to this point in practice, it is the Board of County Commissioners that has the right to approve which positions, meaning the set of duties assigned to a job title, which positions might be able to work remote. And we aren't going to make a broad statement of what those are, but when it comes up, there'll be an analysis, a vetting process, and it would be the HR director who would come before this board and say,
Just a 2-minute warning.
okay, we have an appropriate position and we'd like your approval. Just kidding. And then it will be up to HR and the manager and the human being to decide if the person is appropriate in their ways of work to be at home or to be away and to be able to be appropriate. So the board has some approval and then we'll manage it on the back end. Any other questions for me?
So what part do you need? You need approving the policy you just gave
Correct.
us?
Correct.
I would make a motion to approve the remote work policy as presented.
Okay, is there a second? I'll second it. Okay. Any discussion? Hearing none, Beth, roll call vote?
Corey,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Bo,
Yes.
David,
Yes.
Barry.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Do I have time to ask for the one remote position or do you want me to wait?
You got less than a minute.
Okay, one of our staff accountants working in the finance department is Julie Larson, I will tell you, who has learned a lot and done a lot as it relates to some of the statutory responsibilities that we have, will be relocating out of the state to be with her husband, live with her husband who's been remote for a while. And so we do have some other things going on in the finance department that will leave us short-staffed through the winter. And so we're looking for permission for that one accounting position to be authorized from this board to be remote. Short-term, long-term, we'll see how it goes for Julie and the finance department, but short-term for sure. And that would be starting in October.
Motion to approve, Mr. Chairman.
I don't know the exact date.
Is there a
This
second?
fall.
David?
I'll second.
That was Bo.
No one has moved yet.
All right. Any discussion? Hearing none, Beth, roll call vote.
Steve,
Yes.
Bo,
Yes.
David,
Yes.
Barry,
Yes.
Corey.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, we will, are we adjourning or are we recessing? Okay. To join the Upper Missouri District Health Unit, yeah, exactly.
All you do is just turn the phone on, dial
we'll open the meeting back up and reconvene as the Williams County Commission. And the last thing on the agenda is the budget hearing. So with that, we'll open the 2022 Williams County budget hearing. And if there's any comments from the audience, please step forward. Is there anybody potentially on the phone? Okay, well, this should go quick. There's nobody, there's no Cisco? Really? Anyone? Bueller? Anyone? Bueller? Any comments from the audience? Second call for any comments on the proposed 2022 budget? Okay. Third and final call for any comments from the audience on the proposed 2022 budget. All right, we'll close the 2022 proposed budget hearing and open up to the commission.
Mr. Chairman, I will make a motion to adopt the final 2022 Williams County budget and tax levy.
Okay, we have a motion to approve the budget as presented. And is there any other, or is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, is there any discussion? Okay, hearing none, Beth, roll call vote.
Bo,
Yes.
David,
Yes.
Barry,
Yes.
Corey,
Yes.
Steve.
Yes. Motion passes. And that concludes the meeting, so we can adjourn, right? All right, we. Okay, adjourn till 10.